Clinton and Trump pick up speed on the campaign trail with Election Day drawing near.
Protests erupt in South Africa, urging the president to resign.
And gas prices spike after a pipeline explosion on Monday that left one person dead. All this and more on Citrus TV News, live at 6.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News live at 6. I'm Megan Mystery.
And I'm Nick Papantonis. Governor Andrew Cuomo is leading the charge to expand the New York State Fair. That's tonight's top story. Governor Cuomo is asking for $50 million from state legislators to improve the New York State Fair. That money would be used to revitalize the fairgrounds and to grow the region's economy. Cuomo says he wants private companies to take over some of the fair's operations. Another possibility he floated, turning the fairgrounds into a year-round facility.
The winners of the hackathon have been declared. The SU School of Information Technology collaborated with the City of Syracuse to host a competition challenging students to create infrastructure solutions. The winning platform created a simple method to collect information on the city's potholes. Mayor Stephanie Miner says the hackathon was a showcase of what the city could achieve with open data. The second congressional debate between incumbent John Katko and Democratic challenger Colleen Deacon will take place tonight at 7. The two politicians agreed to a series of 3 debates leading up to Election Day. The first debate took place on the 24th of October, and the final debate will be on Sunday the 6th. The debate will air tonight on NBC3. Katko currently leads in local polls by just over 20 percentage points.
3 people have non-life-threatening injuries today after being stabbed on a Centro bus. This happened around 9 p.m. last night on James Street. Police say the suspect got into an argument with the passengers. That's when he attacked. Officials say the victims include a 17-year-old girl and 2 men, and the suspect walked away from the scene and is still at large. An investigation is underway.
Redevelopment plans are underway for the Post-Standard building in Clinton Square. The VIP Structures Committee will add 2 or 3 floors to the existing building. The additional floors will require approval from the city to be sure they complement the current building. The company estimates the sale will close in 2017. And coming up after the break, a man is in custody after shooting 2 police officers in Iowa.
And Pope Francis has some strong words to say about women and the priesthood.
And I'm Citrus TV weather anchor Brendan Tierney in for Lindsay Wolfson. Today got up to a beautiful start, but rain moved into the region this afternoon, bringing clouds to campus. Our high was 60 degrees, low 48 earlier this morning, mostly cloudy with some scattered showers throughout the area. Will the dreary weather continue? All of your answers coming up in my exclusive Citrus TV 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
An Iowa man is in custody after killing two police officers this morning. Police say 46-year-old Scott Michael Green ambushed two police officers in Des Moines and that the officers were sitting in their squad cars when they were killed.
The first officer was killed at a suburban high school when Green walked up to the car and shot him. A second officer was responding to the murder when he was also shot and killed in an ambush while stopped at an intersection less than 2 miles from the first crime scene.
Police put out a mugshot of the suspect. He was found later that morning. Attorney General Loretta Lynch condemned the attacks earlier today.
The reality is, my friends, violence has no place in the United States of America. It degrades our communities. It demeans our values. And when that violence is coldly and deliberately directed at those who risk their lives to enforce the law and to keep us safe, it is especially intolerable.
Huma Abedin is off the Clinton campaign trail this week after the FBI's announcement to investigate more emails found on a laptop shared by Abedin and Anthony Weiner. Abedin has been a top aide for Hillary Clinton, but hasn't flown with Clinton since Friday, according to CNN.
Abedin's lawyers say that Abedin complied with the State Department's requests and has not been contacted as part of this investigation as of Monday night. WikiLeaks has continued to release batches of information prompting Donald Trump to say there's more to this story.
One beauty that's been caught was, and this was just recently, newly released, where they say we're having a dump of all of those emails.
And with only 6 days until Election Day, both presidential candidates are sprinting toward the finish line on the campaign trail. Donald Trump spent the day in Florida visiting Miami, Orlando, and Pensacola, while his running partner Mike Pence campaigned in Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado.
Clinton, on the other hand, is mobilizing her massive support system today with President Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, and Senator Bernie Sanders making stops on the road. The campaign is holding a total of 23 rallies around the country.
Make sure to tune in to Citrus TV's election special next Tuesday night for all the up-to-date coverage on the race.
Federal interest rates are remaining where they are. The Federal Reserve System saying today they will leave the rates unchanged. Experts expected this decision because of the upcoming election.
The Federal Reserve has instead opted to vote on the issue in December after the race is already decided. The press statement cited that unemployment rates have remained stable and that inflation has increased but remains at a moderate rate.
South African President Jacob Zuma is under fire. South African citizens gathering in Pretoria Cathedral today asking for his resignation. Police fired rubber bullets and stun grenades at protesters outside Zuma's offices.
Zuma withdrew his bid this morning to block the release of a report with allegations that he let a family close to the presidency influence cabinet members.
He's already apologized for using more than $20 million of state funds to upgrade his house earlier this year.
Turkey's defense minister stated yesterday that Turkey is deploying tanks and other heavily armed vehicles to the Turkey-Iraqi border.
The mobilization comes after an announcement by Turkish President Erdogan warning that the government is closely watching the movement of Shiite militias in the northern Iraq.
Turkey hopes that mobilizing tanks on the border will protect them from increased threats by the neighboring fighting.
Pope Francis says women will never be allowed to be priests in the Catholic Church. His comments came yesterday while he was flying back to Rome from Sweden.
A reporter asked if the restriction on women entering priesthood would last forever, and Pope Francis claimed it was impossible to bring women into the church because Jesus only chose men as apostles. The Pope also pointed out the Mary, Mother of Jesus, claiming that women have other roles within the church to choose from beside priesthood.
18 people are dead after a speedboat crashed in Indonesia. The boat was carrying 101 people, most of them migrant workers. It was traveling to the Malaysian state of Johor when it hit a reef.
44 people are still missing and authorities are searching for the survivors. With more than 17,000 islands, boat accidents are a common occurrence in Indonesia.
And new analysis showing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 crashed into the ocean with no one in control. That's according to the Australian Transport Safety Bureau. It announced their findings today through a report on their website.
Most of the Boeing 777 aircraft has still not been found since it and the 239 passengers on board went missing in March of 2014. The new information is based upon satellite communications.
And anybody who stepped outside this morning and this afternoon saw it was a beautiful day, more like spring than fall.
Yeah, it was a little humid though. Brendan, what's going on in weather?
Well, yeah, we were definitely seeing some spring-like temperatures. This time of the year, our average is about 56 degrees, and we're seeing well above that as we take a look across the region. We're checking at 70 all the way down in Elmira, 62 up here in Syracuse, 60 in Rome. So not bad overall if you're across the region right now. Unfortunately, that's going to change. Taking a look at your current radar, you're able to see some storms moving into the area ever so slightly, and that's part of a larger system that will be heading our way tomorrow and into the weekend. So you're able to see a bunch of low-pressure systems and a cold front that are making their way towards central New York, and as we take a look at your future tracker radar, you're able to see the storms will be definitely moving into the area this evening around 9, 11, and 1 a.m. tonight. Definitely some rain out there, so bundle up if you're heading out tonight. Tomorrow, the storms do come through once again. They're going to be re-arriving around 8 a.m. They'll be out of here by about 1 p.m., so definitely a wet Thursday on store for you guys. Tonight, not that bad overall. 48 degrees with a chance of some rain if you're heading down to the men's soccer game against Pitt. It's going to be mild with some rain, winds about 8 to 10 miles an hour, so not that bad overall. The humidity will still be around, however, so definitely prepare if you're going down for that. Your exclusive Citrus TV 5-day forecast shows 54 degrees with a 75% chance of rain tomorrow. Friday, rounding out the week, 45 degrees, much colder for the start of daylight savings time on Saturday. We might have a chance for some snow Saturday morning. Sunday, dropping back an hour, 48 degrees. Nice and sunny both Sunday and Monday, 51 degrees on Monday.
Okay, Brendan, so you said it should be about 45 and sunny on Friday, but what about in the evening? I know a lot of students on campus are pretty excited about Rock the Dome.
Yeah, Rock the Dome, the 1975 coming to play in the Carrier Dome. It should be pretty nice overall. We do have a chance for some rain and possibly a chance for some snow, depending on where that temperature is, but not bad overall. I'd say grab a jacket if you want it, but take the bet, don't go with it.
And despite today's warm temperatures, people over the weekend, are they expecting any snow?
Well, we do have a chance for that Saturday morning. We're dipping down to 32 degrees. There's some rain moving into the area, so it'd be before the sun comes up on Saturday that we will be getting that snow. So a bit of a reminder that we are still here in Syracuse.
Oh yeah, thank you, Brendan.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up, the popular treat Nutella is petitioning the FDA for a new classification.
And gas prices are on the rise after a pipeline explosion. Don't go away. Got a quarter?
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
Nutella does not want to be classified as a dessert spread anymore. Instead, they want to be known as a jam or have the FDA create a new nut cocoa-based spread category. The parent company of the makers of the chocolate hazelnut spread hope the FDA will reclassify the Italian topping in order to increase the serving size. The company does not think the current serving size of 2 tablespoons is fair. The FDA says that they will collect data on the spread's proper serving size.
A report from the Yale School of Medicine found that more children are overdosing on opioids in the U.S. than ever before. The study found the number of opioid treatments for children has doubled from 1997 to 2012. During those 16 years, over 13,000 hospitalizations were identified. Many believe the cause is the record of high amounts of opioid overdoses in adults.
Loans, Staples is making paying those off easy. The company is offering student loan debt payoffs to its employees, announcing that employees will receive $100 a month over a period of 3 years towards student loans. That's $3,600 per employee if you're doing the math. It's currently offered to employees labeled as top performers, but is expected to be expanded to more employees in the future. And gas prices in the South have risen about 3 cents above the national average after a pipeline exploded on Monday. The Colonial Pipeline runs from Houston up to New Jersey and ruptured in Alabama after a construction crew hit the pipe with heavy equipment. The explosion killed 1 worker, injured 5 more, and sent massive smoke plumes into the sky. More than 100 million gallons of gasoline run through that pipeline every day. Officials hope to reopen the pipeline by this Saturday.
Baseball fans are probably pumped for Game 7 of the World Series. It's tonight, and if you are planning on getting a seat to the game, you might want to think twice. Earlier this week, the showdown between the Cubs and the Indians broke records with ticket prices for Game 5 as high as $6,000. Tonight, with the series tied at 3-3, tickets behind the Cubs dugout for Game 7 are $19,000, crushing the previous record set on Monday. Both teams have gone decades without winning a World Series title. And the new Apple emojis are out. The batch includes David Bowie, avocados, and owls. The emojis are working to promote gender equality by including a prince and groom emoji to complement the current princess and bride. Apple also features women in different careers like female police officers and chefs. The new releases combat previous backlash Apple got for lacking women emojis in the workforce.
Here's something you wouldn't expect. Bono has been named on Glamour's magazine's Women of the Year list. No, he's not a woman. The Irish singer is the first man to ever make the list following the launch of Poverty is Sexist campaign. The editor-in-chief of Glamour has praised Bono for his consistent work to improve women's rights. The celebrity stated he does not think he deserves the honor, but is nonetheless grateful. And Netflix is set to release their most expensive TV series to date. It's called The Crown, and it's about Queen Elizabeth II and her life during the 1950s when she first ascended to the throne. Netflix says the series cost more than $100 million to make, but it has already garnered great reviews, and it debuts on Friday.
Coming up in sports, the Syracuse men's basketball team started its new season with an exhibition game last night. Also, the Syracuse men's soccer and field hockey teams begin playing the ACC tournament, and the World Series comes down to a Game 7. Citrus TV News live at 6. We'll be right back.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
At Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Basketball is back in Central New York, and the Orange look very different this year. Jim Boeheim's team took on Indiana University of Pennsylvania last night in an exhibition game where many new tactics were revealed. Syracuse started in a man-to-man defense, and Boeheim used 10 players in total against the Crimson Hawks. And although yesterday's contest was only an exhibition, IUP made SU fans sweat early. So let's head over to the Carrier Dome now, where Tyler Lydon looks to be one of the key players here for Syracuse. But again, IUP started off strong. Anthony Glover here gets the friendly bounce on the three-pointer. And oh no, the Crimson Hawks are up 5 early. And in here, Malik Miller puts the Crimson Hawks up by 15. It's 20-5 IUP with 14:08 left to go in the first. But Syracuse has a star freshman of their own here in Tyus Battle. He puts the Crimson Hawk lead down to 9, and Battle here puts them ahead. The Orange with an 18-2 run capped off by that Battle three-pointer, and it's 30-29 Syracuse. In the second half, that's where they would turn it on. Tyler Lydon finds Starter Robertson on the alley-oop, and SU goes up by 13. And then John Gillen, one of the new transfers, finds Lydon for the nice flush, and it's 59-45 Syracuse. And then Gillen gets a three-pointer of his own to seal the deal for Syracuse. The Orange win against IUP 83-65. And moving to the gridiron, the Syracuse football team faces its toughest opponent this season on Saturday. The Orange travels down to Death Valley to play the #2 ranked Clemson Tigers at Memorial Stadium. Currently, Syracuse is a 27-point underdog, and even Coach Dino Babers admits that his squad needs a little luck to win on Saturday.
You know, there's no weaknesses. We would have to play our best game. They'd probably have to play not their best game. But the really cool thing about football is that the ball's not round, okay, and it doesn't bounce correctly all the time. And if we can get a couple of bounces our way, then maybe we get a chance, maybe. But don't bet the house on it, brother. This is an excellent football team. It's at their place, and they're highly motivated. But give us a slingshot and a rock. That's all I ask, a slingshot and a rock.
Well, Syracuse has used the slingshot and a rock to take down a big opponent this year. The Orange upset then ranked 17 Virginia Tech in October. Kickoff for SU Clemson is scheduled for 3:30 p.m. on Saturday, and you can tune into Orange Press Pass on OTN at 8:30 p.m. for a full post-game recap of the Orange and the Tigers in Death Valley. And moving to the pitch, the Syracuse men's soccer team kicks off ACC tournament action tonight. The Orange earned the 5 seed in the ACC and placed 12 seed Pitt in just over 30 minutes. The Panthers haven't had exactly the strongest season, as they've only managed 2 wins this year, none of them in conference play. Last time SU and Pitt squared off was last year at the SU Soccer Stadium, and in that game, Ben Polk destroyed the Panthers with a hat trick as the Orange crushed Pitt 5-0. A big note for tonight's matchup, Miles Robinson will not play after receiving a 1-game suspension due to his red card against Wake Forest in the last game of the regular season back on Friday. Kickoff for SU Pitt tonight is at 7 p.m. And shifting to volleyball, the Syracuse volleyball team faces a familiar foe tonight. After a 3-1 loss its last time out against Duke, the Orange traveled to Chestnut Hill to play the Boston College. The last time the Orange and the Eagles played was on September 23rd, where SU took a 3-1 victory at the Women's Building. Syracuse has yet to lose to BC since 2014. First serve at Conte Forum is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Moving over to field hockey, the Orange and its trio of all ACC players look to make a deep run in the postseason starting tomorrow. The ACC announced today that midfielder Laura Herf and defenders Liz Lockerway and Rose Wares were selected to the All-ACC first team. The trio combined for 27 goals throughout the regular season, Lockerway leading the Orange with 12. SU enters the ACC tournament tomorrow as the 2 seed, and the Orange take on 7 seed Wake Forest in Winston-Salem at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. And ending on the diamond, the World Series ends tonight after an offensive explosion in Game 6 last night as the Cubs dismantled the Indians, winning by a score of 9-3. Shortstop Addison Russell led the Cubs with 6 RBIs, including a grand slam in the 3rd inning. And Cubs slugger Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo also hit home runs to round out the scoring for Chicago. And on the mound, John Madden took a page out of Terry Francona's book as the Cubs manager put in his closer Aroldis Chapman in the 7th inning to secure the win. Indian starter Josh Tomlin only lasted 2 1/3 innings. And with the Cubs win, that sets up a dramatic Game 7 tonight. Chicago and Cleveland do battle one last time to crown the champion of baseball for the 2016 season. Game 7 features a great pitching matchup between Kyle Hendricks and Corey Kluber. Hendricks has a 1.31 postseason ERA this year and has not surrendered a run in his past 2 starts. Kluber returns on short rest, having pitched games 1 and 4 of the World Series while holding a 0.89 ERA this postseason. First pitch is scheduled for 8 p.m.
Going back to last night's basketball game, I was a little shocked to see the team play man-to-man defense. Do you think that they're going to do that for the entire season?
I definitely think they do, but not as much as people might think. People might think, Boeheim's only going to play man-to-man. But he said he'll sprinkle it in from time to time because he has the players to do so. I still think you'll see a majority of the 2-3 zone and that full court press that you saw SU pull out against Virginia in that great win in the Elite Eight, but some man-to-man sprinkled here and there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Christian. We'll be right back after the break with a look at weather.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Brendan, what's our Thursday look like?
Let's take a look at your Citrus TV day planner. Pretty nice day overall tomorrow. That's if you like rain. We're looking at 51 degrees early morning, 52 around noon. The rain should be out of here by mid-afternoon, 49 degrees by 6 p.m.
Awesome. Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brendan.
And to wrap up the show, we're giving a shout out to someone with a very special birthday today. That's right, the Cookie Monster from the beloved children's show Sesame Street turned 47 today.
The sugar-addicted monster first debuted on the PBS program back in 1969. He quickly became a household favorite for kids everywhere due to his large appetite for all things sweet. And that's all the time we have for Citrus TV tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Papantonis.
And I'm Megan Mystery. Have a good night, Syracuse.